morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. Before I start, I'm going to do this for a while now. Can you guys hear me? Am I loud and clear? Am I loud and clear to you? Good morning. Hope everyone is doing well. Hope everyone is having a fantastic Saturday, start to their Saturday, should I say. And everyone has enjoyed their Friday and recovered from the elements. Whether you went out last night, whatever you did, I hope you had fun. Life's for living at the end of the day. I hope you're having a good time. Can you hear me? Guys, just confirm. Big up everyone in the chat. Before I start, please guys, could you kindly subscribe to the channel and smash a like on the video if you could kindly do that. That'd be absolutely fantastic. You're absolute legends. Thank you for joining me on a Saturday morning. It's really hard to wake up in the morning. Where are you messaging me from? You guys all over the world are messaging me, of course. It is 10 a.m. here where I am. So it's not that early at the end. I've already had my cup of coffee. I've already had my Weetabix. I'm ready to go, guys, at the end of the day. You guys should be ready to go. It isn't match day, of course. I don't think it's match day. It is an international break. Boring international break, of course. Not interested in international football. We just had the Euros, of course, as well. So not really happy about the international break, if I'm being totally honest. I mean, I used to love international break. But now I'm not. Rumour is that Lee Carsley could be the new England manager. You know, they're impressed with him before he's even played a game. You know, we could have read this one. We could have actually like predicted this one, isn't it? We could have predicted this. Absolutely could have predicted this, guys. Absolutely. Guys, thank you for joining me. Big up, Sanjay. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for joining me, Sanjay. Thank you so much. Good morning, Brian, the legend. Good morning, Brian. How you doing, bro? How you doing, my friend? Big up everyone. Big up Sanjay. Big up Jim. Jim, how you doing from down under? My friend, how you doing? I hope you're doing well. Good afternoon, Australia. One good morning to you in the UK. How are you? To you in the I'm not in the UK at the moment. I'm in the Middle East, so I'm about 10 a.m. in the morning. So yeah, break of dawning early in the morning. I called too soon after you. It's absolutely, Brian. It annoys me because, you know, that what timing, you know, we're just starting to get into the season. Good morning, everyone. We're just starting to get into the season and then international break. We just had the Euros, for crying out loud, goodness sake. And with England, in regards to England, at the end of the day, it's Lee Carsley. They're thinking of appointing Lee Carsley as the England manager. For crying out loud, for goodness sake. Lee Carsley. No problem, Jim. I am from England. I was born and raised in England. I've been here 2 years now in the Middle East. Time is flying at the end of the day. So yeah, I do all my business over here and stuff like that. My shenanigans over here. And yeah, lovely. Yeah, travel. It's good to travel though, isn't it? It's good to travel. I would love to visit Australia one day though. That would be a dream of mine to visit Australia, of course. Got lots of friends in Melbourne and Sydney and Perth, as we said yesterday. So yeah, definitely, guys. Guys, Manchester United, and in regards to news about injuries. Now, I wanted to bring this into the show. It was my fun now, because I believe this is a very, very important part of United's success this season. Is these three injuries to Yoro and Rasmus. Of course, obviously, very, very important players. And I hope that they do come. I hope that they do come back. And there is news about their injury. To be honest with you, I've got some dates here and stuff like that. Yoro and Hojlund, of course, and of course Luke Shaw should be back after the Southampton game. So they should be back. I believe it's Crystal Palace, isn't it, or something? We believe we're playing. So they should be back very, very soon. They are ready to come back, guys. So how exciting is that? Very energetic. We need that type of good news in our lives right now, because we've had a very treacherous couple of weeks, haven't we, in regards to Manchester United losing to Brighton, losing to Liverpool. It was horrible at the end of the day, and at the end of the day, I'm still feeling it. I tend not to think about it. I don't want to think about it. I try to do things to keep my mind from it and stuff like that at the end of the day, but I can't keep my mind from it. It keeps reminiscing, going back, if only we beat Brighton, the Liverpool game wouldn't matter as much. But it does matter, doesn't it? It does matter at the end of the day, and we feel it all the time. Luke Shaw, Yoro, and Rasmus are very, very important players to Eric Ten Hag's plans, you know. And once they come back, we can make a determination, a more accurate judgment on the way Man United season is going to go at the end of the day. No Man United today, of course, devastated by this. England ball today. We've got Carsley ball today. We've got England against Ireland, a big game, of course. If you know your history, it is a big game. Not really interested in it, if I'm being honest. If it was the Euros, if it was the World Cup, maybe I would be a little bit interested. But at the moment, I'm not interested in England at the moment in regards to what they do, you know, in this Nations League, because no one really cares about it. Let's be honest. Let's be real about it. No one really cares about the Nations League, of course, guys. Let me read some of your comments, guys. Let me have a look at your comments. I'm falling way behind. Good morning, all. Good morning, Dark Crow. How you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Don't go Australia during the pre-season. No way. I won't, mate. I'm not going there anytime soon. Although I am halfway to Australia. I'm in the middle of the earth, so I can get to Australia. I'm only halfway, so I'm almost there. Darker, big up, big up. Big up Brian, yeah, big up the families, big up Sal. The only good news we are used to the return of players from injuries. Absolutely, that's the only good news we got at the moment. Although I did bring some relatively good news this week in regards to the young players and the up-and-coming players that we're going after in the transfer market for the next transfer window. So we are planning for the next transfer window. I know it's a bit of a downer at the moment, that nothing's going to happen now because obviously there's no transfers and stuff like that going on. But there's a lot to look forward to. Let me say that. There's a lot to look forward to. Whether that's with Ten Hag, whether that's without Ten Hag, I would like it to be with Ten Hag, but there's a lot of obviously news going on around Man United, and this is not the end. This is just the beginning of our journey with the Ineos journey, with the new regime, of course, the new structure of our club. It's been a while since we have the proper structure at our club, and we have to give it a little bit of time, of course. When we sit back and we think about it a little bit deeper, you know, it makes sense, of course, guys. Darko, greetings, buddy. Greetings, everyone in the chat. Jim Watkins, big up. Darko, big up. Darko, big up. Jim, big up you all. Thank you so much for joining me. Wherever you are in the world, you're absolute legends. So I just want to say, look, you know, with Luke Shaw, Rasmus Hojlund and Yoro coming back, it is a very, very important and part of what we do this season, because they are a big part of who we are. Now, the biggest question will be the defence. Who's going to play? Is it going to be De Ligt, Yoro, Licha, De Ligt? Licha, Yoro, Licha, who is it going to be in your opinion? Who do you think should be our back four? This is a very big question, of course. Should Luke Shaw walk straight back into that side? Would you let Luke Shaw walk straight back into that side? I'm not sure, because he's fit for England all the time, isn't it? I wouldn't be surprised if he turns up today against Ireland and starts playing. Can you imagine that happen? Imagine he started being pulled on the... Oh, here's Luke Shaw, hasn't played all season, but plays for England. Can you imagine that? If he'd done that, if that happened, the uproar that would be, of course. But does Luke Shaw deserve a place back in the side? Does he? Or would you start Mazraoui and just keep Mazraoui or Dalot there? Or bring in Harry Amass, of course. Harry Amass I rate Harry Amass. It's about time he's in the squad. You know me, with me, Harry Amass, of course. There's an obsession with Harry Amass with me at the moment. And I hope that he can get a squad place, of course. I hope that he can get a squad place, guys. So, yeah, look, no football today, as we all know, but I do want to bring in a reminiscence over the last 2 weeks. It's been a very treacherous last 2 weeks for us. Liverpool game was horrible. We watched it. We were doing the live watch along, and it wasn't great, you know, and we've been feeling the pain all week, of course, and we've been trying to get away from it, to be honest with you. And one thing I would say is that I'm glad that this defeat, even though I don't like, obviously, losing to your rivals and stuff like that, is horrible, and we don't like that to happen. But I would like to bring in this, right? Sometimes when you lose early in the season, you can fix those problems. It's better than if we lose 10 games into the season and we see those problems. Now, I hope that Ten Hag can see the issues within that team. Now, the guys like me, some people like you know that a lot of those players are not fit. A lot of players are still there to come back, of course. Of course, Yoro, Rasmus, of course, are ready to come back as well. Do you know what I mean? So, and Luke Shaw. So, a lot of players are to come back. The team can change, of course. Sanjay, you love your chai and biscuits, mate. Chai and biscuits, soggy biscuits in the chat. Soggy biscuits in the chat. Pick up yourselves. Are you from UK, Darko? I'm from the UK. Darko, I'm not sure if he's from the UK. Actually, I think he's from South Africa, mate. South Africa. I got it in my leg. It's in my leg. Right in my leg. Yeah, absolutely, Sanjay. Big up, Sanjay. Big up everyone in the chat. You absolute legends, guys. 2 places I want to visit: South Africa and Australia. Big up, South Africa. Absolutely. But yeah, look. At the end of the day, we felt the pain this last week. It's been horrible, you know. But I'm starting to get back in the mood. To be fair, I'm starting to get back in the mood. I'm getting in the mood for Southampton, and I know that we're going to win that game. I just know. Blame me. If we don't win that game, blame me. I'm to blame for it because I feel like we're going to absolutely make up for all the goals that we've been missing all season. Am I delusional? You may say I'm delusional. I don't think I'm delusional. It's Saturday. I love Saturdays. Saturdays are a lovely day, and I am being positive today, and I believe we will get rewarded because nothing deserves it more than Manchester United. For goodness sake, our fan base is absolutely going potty at the end of the day. If you don't know what potty means, it's an English expression for mad. They're going absolutely mad at the end of the day in regards to, I post a picture of Bruno's first training session on Twitter, and everyone was going ballistic. Oh, he's a fraud, he's a this, he's overrated, he's a this. Listen, whatever you think about Bruno, Bruno is not on the top form. But one thing we would say about Bruno is that he always puts in a shift, he always plays for the badge. You cannot say anything more than that in regards to a Manchester United footballer. He's been our best signing post Sir Alex Ferguson, unless someone can tell me otherwise. Second is Leacher for me. Mata does have a shout as well, if I'm being totally honest. But Bruno is our best signing post Sir Alex Ferguson. Post Sir Alex Ferguson, he is. And at the end of the day, anyone who wants to criticise Bruno, I don't like it, because at the end of the day, he puts in a shift and he puts in the effort. And it's not going to help the player as well. If we're jumping on the player, if we're criticising the player, if we're dissing this player, I know for a fact, right, if you go to my Instagram, people look at your posts. These players look at your posts. Rasmus was looking at my Instagram post. I put a tweet, or not, well, a status up on Instagram, a story, and he looked at my post, and they all look at your post. A couple of weeks ago, I done one with Nana, Garnacho, and Rasmus, and every single one of them looked at the post. You can see who looks at your post, isn't it? And that means that they're together, they're looking at the post together. Now, if you're criticising the player, if you're assaulting the player, for example, they're going to look at that, and you know what it's going to be. But, someone like Bruno, if I was bringing in Bruno, if I was celebrating Bruno coming in for his first training session and showing a little video, which is nice, and then people are calling him names, it's not going to help, is it, at the end of the day? Some people don't rate Bruno, but don't bring it in the realms of insult, of course. Guys, Dark Row, my third Tanzanian of Indian origin, big up Salam, Dar Salam Tanzania, big up the Tanzania, massive by the way. Sometimes break refreshes team, it might do us to get a new and different perspective. Absolutely, Jim, this is right, because at the end of the day, sometimes you lose a game, right, and then you think about that game, and then you've got the next game straight away, and then you're still thinking about that game, and it doesn't do well for the team at the end of the day. But if you have a break, right, we have this little break. I don't like international break, obviously, for obvious reasons. But it might be a blessing in disguise, to be honest with you. It might be a blessing in disguise. And it's given us a chance to recover, to be honest. It's given us a chance to sort of calm down a little bit. Some of the fan base are still not calm, of course. I'm fourth generation Indian from Suriname. Big up South America. Big up Tanjay. Big up India. Big up Suriname, of course. Big up the whole world in our hands. We got the whole world in our hands. Big up, definitely in this chat, of course. Definitely, Brian, I think Ugarte played 17 minutes country last night, so that means that he's going to be... That's good news, Brian, because at the end of the day, that means that he's going to be match fit for the Southampton game. At the end of the day, he's going to be match fit for the Southampton game. If he played for Uruguay, and he played in the Copa America as well, so I don't know what all this match fit thing comes from, to be honest with you. He played in the Copa America, but if he played last night for his country, that means he's going to be fit for Southampton game. Well, we hope so. But we do know what Eric Ten Hag is like. He likes to play the players after a couple of games, wait till another player makes a mistake, then slowly, gradually bring them in. I don't think it should be the case. I think he should just play his best team, play it, until it works together. Because at the end of the day, this chopping and changing, it doesn't work well for a team. You cannot build a successful side if you're chopping and changing. Look at Chelsea. They've got loads of great players at the end of the day. They spent $1 billion and they can't put a team together. They're chopping and changing. And when you're chopping and changing, what does it do? Inconsistent lineup brings inconsistent results. And that's what's happening. So we need to start playing our best team, in my opinion. Of a humblest opinion, of course. Darko, Sal, my advice is we be negative before every game and then against the weakest team and expect to lose. And trust me, we will come out as winners, even if the biggest team... Oh my goodness me, mate, I just can't be negative before a game. I've never ever said that Man United are going to lose a game. Never in my life have I said Man United are going to lose this game. I don't do it. If it was true, if my predictions come true, Man United would have been undefeated in the last 40 years. If it was down to me at the end of the day, because I never say that Man United are going to lose. I never do it. I'll say we might draw the game. It might be a difficult game, but I'm never going to say that we're going to lose the game, because that's just not in my DNA when supporting Man United. That's not in Man United's DNA either. We shouldn't be saying we're going to lose this game, blah, blah, blah. I don't think we will. I always say we're going to win. And win handsomely against Southampton, believe it or not. I said 2-0 to Man United. It depends how we start. I do say 2-0. I hope we get 3 or 4. That would be fantastic. I hope we get 4 or 5 or 6. That would be fantastic. But at the end of the day, we know what it's like, innit? We got all these big, high expectations. Once the game kicks off, 20 minutes in, you're like, do you know what? I'll be happy with a 1-0, And I said that yesterday, and I think that's the way Man United fans are, because, we have this experience of winning games and winning games handsomely over the last quarter of a century. We were playing fantastic football, winning football matches, and at the end of the day, we still got that within us. We still got that in our blood, the way we play. So when we talk about Man United, we expect us to win games handsomely. And even to this day, even if we haven't won like that in many years, I mean, we did beat Southampton 9-0 under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, if you remember. Goodness me, that was a bolt from the blue, wasn't it? But that was a COVID season. There was no fans in the ground. Actually, that season where there was no fans in the ground, that just hit home a little bit, because why did we do so well with no fans in the ground? Why did we go on that undefeated run? Are our players weak mentality? Some of these players might have a weak mentality and they feel stress when it comes to fans in the ground. I was thinking that because we had such a good record during the COVID season and on the social stuff, and we played some good stuff as well. To be honest, Almac, good morning, Almac. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Some people say that Sir took years to win anything and used to justify Eric Ten Hag's problems. But Eric Ten Hag, no, sorry, it's Ferguson. No United manager has had the financial backing Eric Ten Hag has had. Not Eric Ten Hag, but no, absolutely, Almac. Look, you make a point. At the end of the day, he has spent a lot of money. Of course, not his money, of course. And I would take that. I would bring that back to the board. Some of those players we chased all summer, and we end up playing double for them because we get them last minute, and then we end up overpaying for these players. That's not Ten Hag's fault that we spent that much money. But what I would say is that comparing anyone to Sir Alex Ferguson is wrong. But what it does teach you is the key to patience. The patience we have to show in regards to Ten Hag. We have to give him this third season. We have to support him. Look, this new structure has just come in. It's just come into play. Do you know what I mean? Lots have changed over the last couple of months. And we have to wait till that beds in and starts, coming into fruition, of course. In my opinion. Darko, Jinjumbo, big up Haribo, Habari, sorry Haribo, love my Haribo, sorry, got food on my mind every single day. Haribo's lovely, haven't had a Haribo in ages, goodness me. Coca-Cola bottles are the ones, bon appetit. They should serve them at restaurants, mate, absolutely, mate. I love Jim. I love Bruno too. The moment he is not playing good, but in saying that none of the others are helping him around him. Get the right players in and start signing. Big difference. Absolutely. He plays for. Look what happened the other day for Portugal. Look what happened. He assisted a goal again. Dalot scored. Ronaldo scored. Man United, ex and present. For goodness sake, what goes on at Man United? That as soon as they put on that Man United shirt, all hell breaks loose and they can't play football. It's like they've never kicked a football in their life. They've got hot potatoes and stuff. Do you know what I mean? What's going on with United in regards to that? I don't know what is wrong with us. When they put on that international shirt, they're world beaters. I don't understand that. It's crazy when it upsets me a little bit because, it's football's football, pitch is pitch, ball is ball at the end of the day. Jim, I know a few words here and there. What does that mean? Okay, I'm not sorry. I have to scroll back on that one. Jim means a good and how are you? Jim means you good and how are you? It means you good. Good day, mate means good. How are you? Good day, mate. Good day, mate. Struth, mate. Struth. What does struth mean? Struth means when Man United put on the Man United shirt but perform for Portugal but not Man United. That is struth. Cool. I found the meaning of Jambo Havari Yako. Mate, you have got me there. Absolutely, you guys have got me there, guys. Brian, loser full COVID champions. Absolutely, they cannot say that they won the league because it was a loser pool. Even United were being prolific away from home. That shows you that this whole COVID season was dud. It was not counted. It does not count. And if you do want to count the COVID season, right? Look, one Premier League title in 34 years. 34 years, one Premier League title, nearly 35, and you're calling yourself a dominant period. Come on, mate. You're not a dominant period unless you dominate the league. You have to dominate the league. Anyone can go and win the Champions League on a one-off. Even Chelsea did that, for goodness sake, and that was a COVID Champions League as well. Let's not forget that as well. So at the end of the day, one league in 35 years, come on, pipe down, Scousers. Pipe down. Do you know what I mean? You got to get over that, mate. You got to win about 4, 5. Do you know what I mean? In a row. We won it 3 times in a row, twice, guys. Twice we won it 3 times in a row under Sir Alex Ferguson. People don't understand how we felt when we were winning the Premier League. Let me tell you how we felt when we were winning the Premier League. When we won the Premier League, it was like, listen, it was like waking up and drinking a cup of tea. That was what it's like, because it was normal. Normal. We felt like, yeah, won the Premier League. Good. Big up. It was like that, do you know what I mean? It was like, it wasn't like, Liverpool celebrating open bus tour. How many open bus parades did we do when we won the Premier League? How many open bus parades? Tell me. We done a bus parade when we won the double and when we win the treble. Did we do a bus parade after bus parade when we win the Premier League title? No, we didn't. At the end of the day, because we knew it was a normal thing for Manchester United. Now, Liverpool, you want to talk about dominance. You have no idea what the word dominance is. Unless you were born in the early 80s, late 70s, you have no idea what dominance is in football. So we had to go on that one. Absolutely. Harbour. Big up. Jim, that's kind of you, brother. Darkro, thanks. Big up. Big up, everyone. Glad to see we're all getting along. Glad to see we're all getting along. It's unlike Twitter. Twitter's a cesspit of negativity and toxicity, of course. So if your prediction is 2-0 against Southampton and it happens, then you get a return ticket to Australia from me and 2 free-week stay. Jim Watkins, fabulous, all-inclusive. Jim Watkins farmhouse, all-inclusive. I thought you were being serious there, Darkro. I thought you were going to offer me an all-expenses trip to Australia. And then you say Jim Watkins farmhouse, unless there is a Jim Watkins farmhouse. Jim, do you have a Jim Watkins farmhouse? I don't think you have a Jim Watkins farmhouse. Hopefully it's a steakhouse, because we have nice steaks. I heard they have lovely steaks in New Zealand and Australia. I think so that would be lovely if we have that. Thank you very much for giving me a little element of excitement for a millisecond, of course. It wasn't prolonged, but, you know, big up. Almac, why is the under-18 team so good but the first team so bad? Is Erik ten Hag coaching the under-10 or is that oh, come on, mate. Almac, you are criticised. That is cruel. Don't be cruel, because I would never be that cruel to you, as Bobby Brown once said. Do you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, no, he's not. The youth team is different from the main team. The youth team, you know, there is scatter of good players. Majority of the players won't make it. The majority of the players will go down to Championship and League One, especially in the other teams. We have a conveyor belt of young players coming through, very good ones. And some of them have been in our first team, so they're much more experienced when they come up against these other teams. Do you know what I mean? One thing I would do, these players are good, they're winning titles, they're doing well, bring some more through, Of course, these days it's different. There's lots of good teams now, lots of teams have good players. At the end of the day, it's not like the 90s when players, you know, there wasn't many good players around in regards to other teams, like obviously Everton, like obviously Southampton and stuff. But what I would say about the 90s though, tell me about this, tell me this if I'm true or not, if I tell a lie or not. In the 90s, every single team in the Premier League had at least 1 or 2 world-class players. Correct me if I'm wrong. Right, let's go through the teams in the 90s. Right, Southampton had Matt Le Tissier. He was a baller. He was world-class. Absolutely world-class. Aston Villa had Dwight York, who we know how good Dwight York was. They had Paul McGrath as well for a period of time. Taylor as well. Bosnich. Players like that. Do you know what I mean? They had players like that. Dion Dublin at one stage. There are players like that. When you go through the teams, Blackburn, Chris Sutton, Alan Shearer, Stuart Ripley, players like that, Tim Sherwood. Do you know what I mean? They had loads of great players in the Premier League. Loads. Liverpool, they couldn't win the league, Liverpool. Liverpool had Robbie Fowler, Stan Collymore, Patrick Berger, Steve McManaman, who won the Champions League with Real Madrid. Do you know what I mean? And, you know, I could go on and on and on how strong the 90s were at the end of the day. And, you know, at the end of the day, I know I'll bring it into the 90s, you know, and stuff like that, how good it was. But, you know, it was a lot better back then in regards to talent. I would say that talent has regressed these days. It has regressed immensely these days. Twofold, absolutely, guys. Absolutely. Jim. Darko Farmhouse. Now, if only we won, we all had be pumping up music at the farmhouse loud, Darko. Mate, you know what? You've let me down. I was looking forward to that farmhouse. Absolutely, I was looking forward to that. But I tell you what, if we do win a title, I will come wherever you want me to, and I will be there, and we will go there, and we'll have a party like it's 1999, guys. Absolutely. Sal, why not Yoro, De Ligt and Licha as a back three? The reason is because I'm not a big fan of it. I don't like the three at the back. I don't think it works. I remember when Glenn Hoddle played it for England during '98 World Cup, and we had a golden generation of players: David Beckham, Paul Scholes, of course, Michael Owen, of course, you know, and Sol Campbell, Tony Adams, you know what I mean? And it didn't work, to be honest with you. And I'm just not sure about that three at the back, that three in the centre back positions. Teams used to play it back in the '90s. European teams used to play it a lot. Ajax used to play it a lot, of course. And remember when Louis van Gaal came into Man United and he started to play that formation with De Ligt and stuff, and we had Tyler Blackett and that. Big up Louis van Gaal, brought on Paddy McNair and Tyler Blackett and players like that. Goodness me, people forget about that. But he did play 3 centre-backs and 2 wing-backs, of course. It didn't work then. I just don't think it is Manchester United. I mean, you know, something temporary, yeah. If it's a temporary thing, yeah. But I look at all the big teams in Europe right now. None of those teams are playing that formation. And, you know, there's a reason why at the end of the day. I don't think, personally, our defence is the problem. I think it's the midfield is the problem. We were Bagel FC against Liverpool at the weekend. And I just feel like we just gave them, you know, the game, to be honest, especially after that first goal, which was given away from Casemiro, of course. I was fortunate to witness the 90s football. 90s football was elite, mate. And people talk about this treble for Manchester City. Mate, people talk about that treble. Look who Man United played during that treble season. And look at the players in every single team. It rolls off the bloody tongue. It rolls off the tongue. All right, we want to go into Inter Milan, right? Ronaldo, R9. Zamorano, Simeone, Zanetti, Materazzi. You know, these guys, my goodness me, they were absolute ballers, you know what I mean? They had absolute balling. They were a brilliant team. You look at Juventus, Del Piero, of course, played for them. Inzaghi played for them. Eka Davids played for them, of course, you know. And Paliuco in goal, he was a fortress, for goodness sake, a fortress at the end of the day. Delivio and players like that. At the end of the day, people know Conte as a player. Antonio Conte was a fantastic player as well. People can't talk about the 90s and bring it up with this day and age, because at the end of the day, it is no comparison. And the reason I bring this in is because football, in regards to the 90s and now, is completely different. Back in the 90s, people used to work. It was a lot more of, you had to earn your spot. You had to earn your coin in football. You had to play on the streets, kick a football against the wall, play in the park in the freezing cold. I used to go football every single day after school, you know, and people don't do that these days. They're more inclined to go home and to play games, you know, on their computer, or go to social media and watch YouTube or watch Instagram. There's nothing wrong with that, of course, but as my nephews, in regards to my wife and stuff like that, when I go to Italy, the nephews are always on the phone. You know, they love football. One of them loves football. I play football with them, and I try to encourage them to play football. But at the end of the day, they've got the social media on top of that, so the players are not developing. For example, street footballer. There's no such thing as a street footballer anymore. Players are pampered way too soon. They've got everything way too soon on the plate, unfortunately. Good for them, that's great. But I just feel like that takes away a little bit of edge, in my opinion. It takes a little bit of edge away from the footballer and you know what we used to have back in the 90s, which was the street footballer. A footballer who you know, not earning astronomical amounts of money, earning a good wage, but not money after 1 week they're rich and they can retire. Players now are earning more money in 1 week than an average guy would earn in their lifetime, guys. In their lifetime. Imagine Marcus Rashford. After this week, he's earned more than me and you and whoever. I don't know how much you guys earn, but me and you and whoever in your whole lifetime. I think that is a problem in football right now. I think that's a problem in regards to not having the hunger. When you're too rich, why are you going to put in a foot? Why are you going to risk breaking your leg? It doesn't matter. I'm still going to get my 350 grand a week. I don't care about these lot. It's a mentality thing at the end of the day. There are still some players who have it. There are some players who still have it. Most of them come from South America and stuff like that, because, you know, there's still, the street footballers are still there. But here, you know, in England and stuff like that, it is, you know, they're too pampered too soon. In Europe, they're too pampered too soon. They're too rich too soon. And that's just an advice for me. I just feel like people should earn their way in football. Jim, seriously joking, if I had a farmhouse, it would be brewing the best cappuccino, a big screen to watch EPL games and lots of banter. So absolutely, and I'll be there, mate. I'll be there, absolutely. Goodness me, there's one farmhouse here in the UAE. Brilliant, magnificent food. It's Irish, I believe it is. Lovely, absolutely lovely. And yeah, I would love that. That would be brilliant. You know what? All the football on, every single game. Food going left, right now, buffets going left, right and centre. Oh, that would be brilliant, isn't it? It'd be beautiful. How is the future of Ten Hag? The future of Ten Hag will be determined after these international games. At the end of the day, we've got Southampton, Crystal Palace, Aston Villa and Spurs. Those 4 games are pivotal at the end of the day. Ineos are said to be very, very upset by the way the team are playing. They are said to be underwhelmed by the way Manchester United are playing at the moment. But that can improve, of course, after the international break. But pressure is on right now. Let's not kid ourselves. Pressure is on Ten Hag to win against Southampton. If we lose to Southampton, God forbid, what's going to happen? My goodness me, that would be absolutely, I wouldn't want to be in the same room. You know what I mean? It would be madness because at the end of the day, I'm going to stay away from Twitter if we do lose to Southampton, of course. Let me just clear this up. Yeah, I wonder if Vitek could replace Onana in the future. Maybe if he could be the new Kova. Do you know what? We got a buy-on clause with Kova, haven't we? I heard that we have a buy-on clause with Kova. We can get Kova back. Yeah, I said we shouldn't have sold Kova back in that pre-season last year. I said that we shouldn't have sold Kova. I think it was a big mistake to sell Kova. Why did we do that? And brought in Onana. And he ended up winning the league for Leverkusen as well. It's such a bad mistake, isn't it? Such a bad mistake. Big up Top Button. How you doing, my friend? Thank you for joining the stream. Habibi, up the radio notch. Thanks. Big up, Habibi. Hope you're doing well. Top Button, thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe and smash a like on the video, my friend. Thank you so much, guys, for joining the stream this morning on a Saturday morning. Do you know what I mean? Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it. Jim Watkins, I never liked Louis van Gaal's style of football. It was last time, but looking back, he was not the worst. He was not the worst, but what we have to remember, Jim, about Louis van Gaal's football is that he integrated a lot of youth players into that team. As I said, Tyler Blackett, Paddy McNair, of course, and Brothwick Jackson as well. Do you know, so he still won the FA Cup as well. So we have to look at that in one way. He's highly underrated, isn't he? Although his football was very, very boring. It was boring. People were leaving the stadium, how boring it was. You know, he didn't have the best of squads in regards to defensively. Although he did bring in Falcao, he did bring in Di Maria, of course. Bad signings at the end of the day, it turned out to be. They didn't seem like bad signings at the time when we were signing them. I was saying we're going to win the league. Falcao, Di Maria, Schweinsteiger. I thought we were going to win the league. Schneiderlin. I thought we were going to win the league. I was like, we're definitely going to win the league. We're going to win the league now. You know, Louis van Gaal and stuff like that. But with me, in regards to Louis van Gaal, I know that he was highly underrated. But what I would say is this. During the 98-99 season, taking it way back to the 90s again. Sorry, guys. When he managed Barcelona, I did not rate him as a manager. That's what I would stress. I did not rate him as a manager back in the 90s because he had a very, very good Barcelona team, which included Rivaldo, of course, which included Luis Enrique. You know, a very, very good team. You know, and he always had a little bit of a weakness. I felt like Barcelona's weakness back then was Ruud Hesp. Ruud Hesp was their goalkeeper. And I didn't write him. Reiziger, of course. He made it into Dutch FC, a bit like what Ten Hag's doing now, to be honest. But I didn't rate him back then. Darko, Dubai should be the meeting point of all Stretford poster boys. Yeah, absolutely. If we win the trophy, barring FA Cup and Carabao, absolutely. But if we win the trophy, we should all come to the UAE, guys. Absolutely, it's lovely. I'll show you around, guys. I'll take you to some amazing places over here. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I'll show you guys. Abu Dhabi or Dubai. Abu Dhabi is more peaceful. If you want a peaceful life, if you want more luxury, Abu Dhabi. Dubai is beautiful though as well. Absolutely. Only an hour away, by the way, by car. Top Bone, Habibi, up the audio notch. Thanks, mate. Is my audio okay? Sorry, guys. I'll get a bit closer to my mic. I'm fixing up my audio, Habibi. I'm fixing up my audio as we speak. I'm trying to get a better mic in and stuff and getting the sound up. It will be better very soon. I promise you guys. Thank you so much, though. Thank you, my friend. So, Sal, who do you blame for the highway syndrome? Murta and Woodward, because basically what they have no, how would I say? Negotiation skills. They don't have the negotiation skills to persuasion, the art of persuasion. So what they used to do is they used to offer these players astronomical amounts of money so that they come, because they don't have the skill to negotiate. Right now, we signed Xerxes on 60,000 a week. It's a lot of money. I know it's still a lot of money. For me and you, it's a lot of money. But as a footballer, that's not that much. Do you know what I mean? So that shows to me that we are improving on that aspect. But I would blame Murta, Woodward, and of course the Glazers for the way we've been doing business this last few years, giving people contracts for no reason. Look how many. What is it? How would I say it? Look how many. I would say it. I've forgotten what I was going to say. But at the end of the day, look at Phil Jones, for example. If I give an example, look at Phil Jones and how many contracts we gave him before he left. Look at Martial, how many contracts we gave him before he left. We should never have gave Rashford that new contract. We shouldn't. We got to start rewarding players with contracts based on performance and based on how you've done over the last few years and what you've won. You know, that's how we should be basing it on. Because Sir Alex Ferguson, if you didn't win anything in a season, we all know what happened in 94, 95. When we lost the league to Blackburn Rovers, what did Sir Alex Ferguson do the next season? He felt that those players weren't good enough. He felt that some of those players need to go at the end of the day, and they did. Big players as well, winners as well. Mark Hughes, Andrei Kanchelskis, players like that, Paul Ince. You know, we haven't got that anymore at the end of the day. Good morning, Rasta Stacks. How you doing, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Welcome back to the stream. I hope you're doing well. I hope everything is fine with you, my friend. Thank you so much for coming back, guys. Thank you so much for coming back. Almac, why are players at Real Madrid and City hungry and motivated despite being rich? Our players are only in it for the money. Do you know what it is, my friend Almac? Do you know what it is? Success. Success is an addiction. Success. When you're successful, it creates an addiction. Man United had it in the 90s. That's why when we used to lose league titles and we used to win nothing, Sir Alex Ferguson used to get other players in to keep the squad hungry, right? And he used to get rid of a lot of players at the end of the day. We're not hungry because deep down, I know that some of those players don't believe. Deep down, I know that a lot of those players don't believe that they can actually challenge for a title. Although I think they can, right? And I do think they're good enough. I just feel that they don't believe. Deep down, they don't believe. Real Madrid, when you go on the pitch, right? Look at Leicester City when they won the league, right? Leicester City when they won the league. Momentum. They started to believe that we're going to win. And they started winning game after game after game. And if they kept that, they could have kept that dominance. But obviously, they sold their best players. But at the end of the day, you need that belief. And Man United don't have that. And even though some of those players say, yes, we really want to win, deep down, do they really believe that they are going to win? Deep down. I don't think so. Coming from the laundromat, what did I miss? Big up. Nothing much, mate. Just talking about the injuries of Yoro, Rasmus and Shaw. Could be back after the Southampton game, which is good news, of course. Darko, Alma, they don't get paid as Man United players. You know, this is what I'm saying, Darko. At the end of the day, what is going to happen? If you overplay players, what's going to happen? What's going to happen if you overplay players? Are they going to be hungry? You know, they're not going to be hungry. We overpay them and they're like, I'm rich. I know it's wrong. If I was that money, look, we appreciate money. You know, I come from a hard background. I come from a poor background. One bedroom in five of us in a one bedroom flat, 14th floor in the middle of Leytonstone, in the projects of Leytonstone. I was born poor, right? Right at the end of the day. And at the end of the day, people like me and you, we would appreciate that money. But the problem is, right, these guys don't appreciate the value of money. They don't appreciate because they've had it since they were 16, 17 years old. Even 15, 16, 17-year-olds are getting 6, 7, 10,000 a week. You know, and they've always seen that money. You know, they've never witnessed having no money. You know, they've never witnessed living on a pound, you know, one day, for a pound on one day. They've never seen having to choose between a drink and a chocolate bar. You know, they've never seen that kind of thing at the end of the day. And that's the problem. When they're too rich, when they're given too much money, they lose the hunger. And I would say this with anyone. Look, I would rather players play who are on a lower wage, who are fighting for the badge, than having a mercenary who's claimed to be a world-class player, who's getting 350,000 a week and thinks, you know what, do I really need to put my leg in? I might buy another Ferrari next week. You know what I mean? It's just the mentality at the end of the day. At the end of the day, it's just, you know, even Eric Cantona was a street footballer. Eric Cantona was a guy who came from the street. Do you know what I mean? And I just feel like, you know, paying too soon. Good morning, sir. Am I watching from Sierra Leone? Big up Sierra Leone. Good morning, Conde. How you doing, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for joining me, my friend. You're absolute legend. Thank you very much. Don't forget to subscribe and smash the like, guys. Thank you. So, what do you think of Van Gaal's Ajax in the mid-90s with players like Van der Vaart, Kluivert, Overmars, Carnister? Generational team, of course. Blind as well, Van der Sar as well, of course. Fantastic side, Reisiger. Of course, Patrick Kluivert was an absolute brilliant player. Overmars was a fantastic player, highly underrated. I really wanted him at Man United. Man United wanted him before Arsenal, by the way. Before he signed for Arsenal, Man United wanted him. But at Ajax scene, sad for Ajax, obviously, what happens if Ajax, their players leave? Edgar Davids as well, and Seedorf. Goodness me, what a team. Their players left, you know, and it broke them up, of course, when they won the Champions League, beating AC Milan 1-0, Kluivert scoring, of course. Do you know what I mean? It was a fantastic side at the end of the day, but they were more geared to winning games like that, like 1-0, with the 3 at the back, with the 2 wing backs, of course. They were more geared to winning 1-0. But that team was a generational team. The Ajax team is one of the last Ajax teams I would say were absolutely elite. Brilliant team, absolutely. Everyone loved that Ajax team. Everyone back in them days loved the Ajax team. Even my brother bought an Ajax top. You know, it was that they were that good. Loved it. Please tell me about Chitoze Obi-Martin transfer to Man United. Coming in very soon. We're waiting for the announcement, my friend. Of course, there was a lot of talk about compensation. Arsenal were threatening to take Man United to court. So this is obviously a complicated issue. But he is free, so he should be a Man United player anytime soon. I say before the free transfer window closes. I think it is in a couple of days, to be honest with you, but he will be a Man United player. I'm pretty certain about that. If not, he'll be coming in January. If it goes over, he'll be coming in January. But I believe he is a Man United player now. We're just waiting for the finer details of that, of course. Rasta Stocks, a question for you. Are you going to start doing like for live calling and StreamYards to hear from the fans? Absolutely, mate. Whatever you suggest, I'll do that, Rasta Stocks. I'll do video calls if you like. Video calls are good. You know, I've done a few over the last few weeks. I've done a couple with our other fan cams. I've had a few interviews on here, but definitely going to be start doing phone-ins and video calls as well. Definitely. I might do a show dedicated to video calls and stuff like that. Absolutely. I might do that. I might do one show dedicated to the fans and having us lot every week in the video calls, of course, and debating, of course. It'd be great to do that, to be honest with you. I love it. Yeah, definitely. I'm going to start up a stream anyway in regards to another stream. I've got Breaking Dawn and I've got Chatterbox, so I'm gonna make one more show. I think I need one more show in the evening because I've got the morning show, I've got the afternoon show. I just need an evening show as well, guys. Of course, I do the watch-alongs as well, so... yeah, definitely. Jim, got a question for you. If you could go back to the time that Sir Alex Ferguson retired, which manager would you pick? Personally, I pick Mourinho. I'm going to be totally honest with you. It would have been Pep, mate. I would have done anything to get Pep or Klopp. I'll be honest with you. I mean, I know that Klopp managed our greatest rivals, but back then I said Klopp or Pep. Even then I said Klopp or Pep. The David Moyes appointment was a big mistake, and I think that the reason why we're here today is because of that appointment. The way it started, it was wrong. We completely messed it up. We should have been prepared. Look at the way that Liverpool, I don't like bringing Liverpool into the show, of course, I don't. But look at the way that Klopp did it, right? Klopp built a team for Arne Slot to slot his way into that team and not change much. Okay, he brought in Chiesa and stuff, yeah, one player. But he already had the structure there, so he didn't need to change much. What we did, we completely were not planned for Sir Alex Ferguson. Some may blame Sir Alex Ferguson for that. We did not plan for his retirement. We did not have everything set. So in my opinion, yes, I would have brought in a Mourinho, Pep or Klopp. Mourinho, definitely. We needed someone who was a winner. We needed someone who can go in there. All right, not necessarily a winner, right? Because obviously, you know, it depends on the quality of the manager. But David Moyes, it was the wrong choice. It was the wrong choice. I knew from a long time that David Moyes was overrated, even at Everton. Okay, he came, up the league a little bit, but I didn't see anything in David Moyes made me think he's the manager. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can have managers these days like a Sporting Lisbon, like Amorim, for example, and I rate him. He's a good manager. Now, for example, if Amorim was managing back in 2013, I would say, yeah, that guy is the guy. You know what I mean? Now, what we should have done, to blend it in, we had winners like Vidic, we had Ferdinand, we still had Giggs, right? At the end of the day, we still had players in our team, Van Persie, we still had players in our team who were serial winners, guys. So what's going to happen if you bring in a manager like David Moyes? What's going to happen? They're not going to believe in him. Anything he does wrong, they're going to criticise him. They're going to say it weren't like that under Alex Ferguson. And if you look at the interviews with Evra, you look at the interviews with Rio Ferdinand, and you will know that, the way he did things was wrong. I felt sorry for him in a way because he was thrown in the deep end. But at the end of the day, what we should have done is bring in a Jose Mourinho or a Klopp or a Pep. Someone with the charisma or someone who has the winning mentality and proven. Mourinho could go to Ferdinand and say, well, how many Champions Leagues you won? I've won this, I've won that. But you know what I mean? It can compete with him. With Moyes, it's going to be like, what have you won, Moisey? What have you won? And it was sad. And at the end of the day, I was at games during the Moyes period. I was saying David Moyes Army. I was singing and stuff. I was still supporting the manager. I was still there. But it was the wrong appointment, in my opinion, guys. Kande, there is an argument with me that Arsenal fans in Sierra Leone that Chido Obimana will not join us. Please, I need an answer. Absolutely, I'm not a fly on the wall, Kande. It's all up in the air at the moment in regards to Chido, but he should be a Man United player. I know that it's hard in Africa in regards to Arsenal fans and Chelsea fans. I know you legends in Africa, some of the best United fans in the world, by the way, are suffering. I'm suffering. We're all suffering around the world with these Arsenal fans, with these Liverpool fans, with these Chelsea fans. All around the world we're suffering, my friends. But don't worry. Regardless of Chido Obi Martin, right, Chido Obi Martin will be a Man United player. He's fallen out of Arsenal. He's not going to go back to Arsenal. I'm in the belief of that. I firmly believe that is going to be the case. So just be patient, my guy. Absolutely. William, how you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Welcome back to the stream. As a player, if you're not performing, you should be put down, even if you're a big player. Absolutely. And Sir Alex Ferguson used to do the same. We all remember when David Beckham was dropped for Luke Chadwick against Leeds, don't we? Remember those days, players, if they're not good enough, they have to be dropped. Of course, Sal, say it from the heart. Is Rashford a talented footballer? I don't think so. I found him a fraud since day one. Can I say something? And this is my personal opinion, right? I've done a short video about Marcus Rashford on my stream. Have a look at it. It's on the short videos on my YouTube channel, right? I've done a short video about it, and I said this: if we didn't have injuries in the striking department back then, would Rashford have got through the academy? Would he got through? Because I know that who was in front of him, of course, players were in front of him. Even young players were in front of him, if we remember rightly, right? Martial was injured and we had no strikers, and then we brought in Rashford. Fair play, he took his opportunity. But I don't think we should have put the amount of belief in what he was. We put too much emphasis on who he was, because to be honest with you, he was a good prospect. But sometimes, players, right? Some players, they don't develop how they should. And I think personally, from Rashford's debut to now, I'm going to be totally honest with you guys, Rashford has regressed. He's regressed. From the day he made his debut to now, Rashford has regressed. There's plenty of evidence to suggest he's regressed. He can't head the ball anymore. He doesn't head the ball anymore. He scored 2 headers against Arsenal in the Premier League. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't head anymore. He doesn't take on his man anymore. He doesn't create anymore. He doesn't do that. He used to be one of the most skillful players I've seen, but he doesn't have it anymore. He's lost it. Sometimes you can lose it. I feel like he should be dropped. That's it. And, sometimes it doesn't work out. And unfortunately it does. I'm good, thank you, Conde. I hope you're doing well. Hope family as well. Hope you're doing very well, and everyone is treating you fine, my guy. Thank you so much for joining me. Almac, how did Klopp up at Liverpool and not United? His mentor said that United was his favourite English club and he wanted to coach, yet somehow he ended up at Liverpool. He would have been great. At the end of the day, the blame game, right? Part of this, Sir Alex Ferguson, when it came to picking the manager, Sir Alex Ferguson should have took a step back, in my opinion. Right, and we should have just stopped emotion and picked the correct manager. Sir Alex Ferguson was a legend and he is a genius, right? On the football side of things. But sometimes Sir Alex Ferguson's decisions were based on emotion. Sir Alex Ferguson's decisions were based on emotion. He was too emotional sometimes. He was too knee-jerk sometimes with regards to Stan, Beckham, for example. You know what I mean? He was too knee-jerk. So bringing in David Moyes, because let's face it, because he was Scottish, that was it, was the wrong way to go about things, right? It was the wrong way to go about things. He should have said, who's the best up-and-coming European manager? It is Klopp, it is Pep, and there's Mourinho there as well. What he should have done is picked the best. The best. That's what the board should have done. Not leave Alex Ferguson, with a decision, with his own decision that he owns the club. Yes, he built the club. He was a legend. And I saw every bit of his success. But it shouldn't have been solely down to Sir Alex Ferguson's choice. right? It should have been the board as well, you know. At the end of the day, look, Klopp would have been a fantastic manager at Manchester United. You know, it sounds wrong now, but yeah, he would have been a fantastic manager at Man United, 100%. And it didn't work out. It was not to be. We ended up getting David Moyes, and it was a downhill from there. You know, it's downhill. We wasted a number of years with managers I didn't rate. Yes, Louis van Gaal was a fantastic manager in Europe, but I didn't think he fit Man United. I didn't think he was the right fit, the way he plays football. You know, we got Jose Mourinho too late, you know, in my opinion, it's too late. You know, it should have been a straight swap, you know, because then you would have had Jose Mourinho. Let's say Jose Mourinho took charge of Man United after Sir Alex Ferguson. You would have had the Ferdinands, Evras, Vidic's, Giggsy's, Van Persie's under Jose Mourinho. Under Jose Mourinho. That would have been better than being under David Moyes. You know, that, and we would have probably won the league again after Alex Ferguson. We would have won the league again. The endless amounts of mistakes that we made after Sir Alex Ferguson retired, it was astronomical. Partly to do with Sir Alex Ferguson. Sir Alex Ferguson is a fantastic manager, greatest manager of all time. But he had his flaws. He had his flaws. He's extremely stubborn, right, and extremely biased, right? Some may say Ten Hag is like that. He's reminiscent, you know? But he's extremely biased. And the picking David Moyes was the wrong decision. It was the wrong decision. Of course, everything is beautiful. We're all winners in hindsight at the end of the day. But at the end of the day, I didn't rate it at that time. I expected us, like, when we got David Moyes, I had a bad feeling. I felt like we're going to lose games with David Moyes. Even though we had those players, you just had that feeling, didn't you? David Moyes didn't come across as a winner. Didn't come across as charismatic. You know, he just wasn't that guy. And it's proven it over the years since what has he done in football? Went to Real Madrid, fouled, you know what I mean? Managed West Ham twice, done okay at the end of the day. You know, and at the end of the day, yeah, Real Sociedad he managed and he fouled and stuff, you know, so... Wrong decisions, guys. Rasta Stacks. Wayne Rooney's style of football was more like a street baller to me. Well, that's why he's one of my favourite, best number 2. And that's exactly what I'm saying, Rasta Stacks. I've been talking about in the show. The problem with football now is that we lack the street footballer. The street footballer doesn't exist anymore. That's a sad thing at the end of the day. The street footballer no longer exists. We got pampered, over pampered players that play for the club now. Rich too soon players that play for the club now, unfortunately. We don't have that street footballer who would die for the badge. Do you know what I mean? Who would put his foot in even though it risks injury. We don't have that anymore. It's like, I don't need to make a tackle. You know, I'm rich anyway. I don't need to make a tackle. What's the point of making a tackle? You know, I'm rich anyway. You know? Big up, lovely stream. Get the likes up, sir. Thank you so much. Big up, everyone. Put up the likes. Put up the likes and the subscribers, guys. Please, thank you so much, you legends. Jim going to bed. Absolutely. It's his bedtime, isn't it? For goodness sake, like it's early here. Jim Watkins, it's 4:45 here, dark. Actually, no, it's not bedtime unless you're goody. I mean, at the end of the day, definitely not bedtime, 4:45. Oh, okay, big up, Darkro, big up. Absolutely, you get the Klopp brings a monster mentality, aggressive football. Yes, absolutely. And he brought a underachieving Liverpool team who won nothing to champions. You know, and at the end of the day, if he managed Manchester United with Ferdinand, with Vidic and with Giggs and with Van Persie, we know that we would have won the league. Pep, Jose and Klopp would have won the league after Sir Alex Ferguson retired. They would have won the league after Sir Alex Ferguson retired. Hell, they would have even attracted more players to Man United because they're more established players. Lots of players didn't want to come to Man United when David Moyes came. Loads of players didn't want to come to Man United. They were like, oh my goodness me, David Moyes, I'm not interested in that, to be honest. Darkro, plus Giggs and Ferdinand watches were more expansive than Moyes' early years. You know what? I would have preferred Giggs as manager than David Moyes. You know, I would have preferred Carrick as manager than David Moyes. David Moyes just wasn't that guy at the end of the day for me. I'll argue that with everyone. I just think he wasn't that guy for Man United. Not the best time to manage United, Man United. I've said not the best time, but you know what you do, Brian? You bring in someone who's proven. Bring in someone who's proven. Don't put David Moyes in the deep end because that's what we did. We threw David Moyes to the Sharks. We threw him to the Sharks. At the end of the day, and Rio Ferdinand has said it, Everest has said it over the years, Giggsy has said it over the years, about the way he managed the team. You know, and when you're coming after Sir Alex Ferguson, it should have been a straight swap. Like, straight, no change, not too much change. It should have been a straight swap. David Moyes came in and removed all the backroom staff and said, oh, we should play like Everton. Here's some videos of Jagielka playing football and stuff like that. It shouldn't have been like that. Do you know what I mean? It should have been a straight swap, of course. Darko, yeah, big up everyone. William, why did Ten Hag play both Rashford and Garnacho in the same time in the game with Liverpool, knowing that both of them are selfish? At least one of them should be on the bench. Rashford should be on the bench, my guy. William, Rashford should be on the bench. Every one of those players have been on the bench. Ahmed's been on the bench. Anthony's been on the bench. Garnacho's been on the bench. It's about time that Rashford sat on the bench for a little bit, in my opinion. I agree with that. He shouldn't have played both of them. Rashford should have been substituted because he wasn't performing either. It's Jim, 9:50 a.m. Big up everyone around the world. Big up everyone, guys. 100%, Sal, he should have been dropped on the bench or reserves. If you're not good enough, you should not make the team. Absolutely. And this is the one issue I have with Ten Hag. If I'm going to bring on an issue, that is the biggest issue for me in regards to Erik Ten Hag, in my opinion. Darko, Sal, name a Man United player who would die for the badge of the club. Right now, there's not one. I would say maybe Licha Martinez, but right now, in my opinion, there's not one player who would die for the badge at Man United. And I'll say that firmly. There's not. And I will tell you that a lot of those players, if you watch the game closely, there are times when these players are jogging and walking on the pitch. They're not playing for the badge, like I expect a Man United player to play for the badge. The only one who would die for the badge is Licha Martinez, in my opinion. And even he is questionable at the end of the day. I don't think there's anyone in that team who would absolutely break their leg for the cause. Back in the day, we had Roy Keane, Paul Scholes, each one of them. You know, I could go down a list. Nemanja Vidic, Rio Ferdinand, Gary Neville, Dennis Irwin, Evra. You know, those guys, even Cantona, would break their leg for Man United. Mark Hughes would break his leg for Man United. None of these guys would break their leg. They wouldn't even break a toenail for Man United, these players. Hussein, how you doing, my friend? Hope everything is well, bro. Hope you're doing well. Sure, we'll always be injury prone, selling. But kudos to United. We are good, exciting young talents. Play them, they will make a difference. Absolutely. Look, we need more players who play on the edge of the seat. At the end of the day, what I do not want is players coming into the club and down tooling, because, you know, not even any player who comes in the club right now plays well. You know, and this is a problem because they get rich too soon. They're getting too much money, and they think they made it. You've not made it when you gone to Man United. You've made it when you've won trophies. When you won trophies, then you've made it. Don't pretend you've made it when you signed for Man United. You've not made it, please. It's not the luckiest manager getting ready-made club. Yeah, absolutely. He's the luckiest manager in the world. Everything was there for him on a plate at the end of the day. Everything was there for him on the plate. He's lucky. Klopp has put it there. But let's see how it goes for him. Let's see if he wins the league. Let's see if he wins a trophy. At the end of the day, you know what? He's been a bit lucky this last 3 games. We wasn't ready for Liverpool game, to be honest with you. Ten Hag said we're not ready. I think he's been lucky to have that Liverpool job. But let's see what happens. Let's see how he does. If he wins the league in his first season, fair play. But everything has been put on the plate for him. Everything has been put on the plate for him, in my opinion. Jim, Darko, Eric Cantona, Roy Keane, to name a few. Absolutely. I'm pleading with Everton Hag and members of the board to Manchester United to change the style of play. If not, we are going to record more death case, trust me. They beat us, we lost a friendly on my... Conde, at the end of the day, the board have already spoken. They said that the play is very underwhelming and it needs to be improved. Give it a chance. After the international break, we got a few games there, as I said, against obviously Southampton, which is a must-win against Southampton. If we don't win those games, then we can start getting a bit more up the level. Let's say we go on a good run. Let's say we win a few games. You never know what's going to happen, do you? At the end of the day, the best thing and the smart thing to do is just stay calm. Just see, you know what I mean? Look at it from a bird's eye point of view. Look at everything, the mitigating circumstances. Look at it. You know, and just see. Let's see, guys. I would urge you. You know what? He who laughs last, laughs loudest, Conde. Believe that. You'll get a chance to laugh at Arsenal. Don't worry. Sir Alex Ferguson knew the importance of good strikers and brought Van Persie to win the league. We pride defenders and midfield. Absolutely, story. I said that a couple of weeks ago. Do you know what? Alex Ferguson would even bring in a player like Louis Saha from Fulham because he knew he could score goals. Dimitar Berbatov. He knew he can score goals. We needed to get a proven goal scorer in there. That is the philosophy of Sir Alex Ferguson. We all know, you know. And now we're concentrating more on defending, trying to fix the defence. Well, we ain't even got a striker. You know what I mean? It's mad. We need proven strikers in there. Jim, no, we are egotistic players. Both had individual values. Both had individual. We have egotistical players, that's for sure. Definitely overpaid mercenaries. A lot of them at this club, of course. Hi, what about Coney and Yoro playing next game? I don't think they're going to play next game. Nasiru, how you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. I don't think they're going to play next game. Give it another couple of games, then maybe they will play. Yoro will be after the Southampton game, I believe. He's way above where he should be. So in the development. So Yoro could be back very, very soon. And Kevin Moran, Sal, absolutely. That is old school, but absolutely. Absolutely. There's no one these days, you know. Jim, both yes and egos, I agree, but slightly disagreed that they laid everything for the club. I feel like that they would break their leg for the club. There's a few players that would have broke their leg for the club at Man United during the 90s, especially Cantona would, Roy Keane would. You know, Gary Neville definitely would have seen it. I've seen Dennis Irwin. I've seen all these players. Every player that came in that team, Gary Pallister, Steve Bruce, even Andy Cole and players like that would have broke their leg for the cause. Absolutely. Ryan Giggs would have done it, bombing up and down that wing, risking his hamstring and his back. You know, back in those days, you know. These days, there's nobody. I'm not saying everybody, but there's nobody these days, you know. You would be pretty lucky getting a team like United. Absolutely, absolutely. Big up Story, by the way. He's dead because of pressure. He passed away the cinema centre. He's dead because of pressure. What's that, my friend? Who's dead because of pressure? Who's dead because of pressure? Okay, thank you. Big up, big up Conde, big up everyone in the stream, guys. Thank you so much for joining. Loved Andy Cole, Dwight York and Teddy Sheringham. Absolutely. Andy Cole, Dwight York, Teddy Sheringham, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. What a moment, what a time to be alive that was, guys. What a time to be alive. Absolutely. Rassata, I could see could win the FA Cup again, the EFL or the Europa League, but for the Premier League, could win the FA Cup again, the Cup or the Europa League. Absolutely. Look, I think we're going to do something this season. I believe we'll shock a few people this season, guys. I think we have to remain positive and not be too pessimistic in regards to Man United's future. We have got a chance after this international break. Lots of things have happened this last couple of weeks, I know, and it's hurtful, but we have to believe and we have to stay positive at the end of the day. Rasta Stocks, but the Premier League, not sure yet. It was our managers and some. Yeah, maybe, but I feel like things are changing and I think the tide is turning. I know it's hard to believe right now. I do believe the tide is turning, guys. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. You absolute legends. It's been a fantastic show again. You guys, you make the time go so quickly. I can't thank you enough for joining me, guys. At the end of the day, if you look at the barcode, I've got the QR code. I'm going to be doing some extra content over the next few weeks. If you want, you can join the membership, of course. If you join the membership, it's only a couple of quid a month. But if you join the membership, I'm going to be doing some other content here outside and stuff like that, interviews and everything like that, guys. So if you want to, join it. If not, please subscribe to the channel at least. If you guys could subscribe to the channel and please smash a like on the video, that would be fantastic, guys. You're absolute legends. Thank you so much for joining me. It's been a brilliant show as usual. And let's not forget, right? It's not over till Rafa Benitez sings. It's not over until Rafa Benitez sings. In other words, it's not over till the fat lady sings. Big up, my friend Pasta, £1. What's that? My friend Pasta, 51 years old. Who's Pasta? Oh, Pasta, R.I.P. Pasta, by the way. I don't know if you're telling the truth or not, but R.I.P. Pasta. Hope you're doing well. Big up Pasta. Hope he's in a better place right now. Big up yourself. I hope your family recover, and blessings and love to your family, guys. Thank you so much, guys. It's been brilliant. Thank you so much, guys. I'm off to the gym. Got to get rid of that cheesecake I had yesterday. I had a very big cheesecake, very, very big cheesecake, and I've got to burn it off now. I've got to face the music, guys. Take it easy. Peace.